Hey, welcome to What's Up, Joe, with your host Stan Scrabbit and Bob Birch. This is a weekly program where we take a behind-the-scenes look at articles from the Journal of Extension. Today's guests are Paul Hill and Stacey MacArthur from Utah State University, and our topic is Google Search Mastery. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, Bob, how are things?
Good, Stan, and you? I see you showed me earlier there was snow outside your window.
Yeah, we got a little bit of snow going on here. So we definitely know it's fall, although it will snow also in winter, spring, and some parts of summer. So, but this is definitely the kickoff of the fall season. How are things looking in your part of the wood?
Not too bad today. Your snow's on its way east, though.
Very good. So today our guests, Paul Hill and Stacey MacArthur, and very cool. We appreciate you guys coming on. And how are things in your part of the woods, Paul?
Oh, things are great. I'm actually in Washington County, where I spend most of my time. But today I am in Farron, Utah, on my way to our 4-H in-service in Moab. So it's a pretty nice country out that way. Never really been here before. So
very nice. Stacey, what's going on with you?
It's looking pretty good up here in Logan. It snowed about 2 inches this morning, but it's melted and it's up in the 50s now.
Very nice, very nice. And once again, thank you. Hey, before we get started, let me just mention something for the folks that are watching virtually. That on your screen, up in the upper right-hand corner of the presentation, there's an opportunity to ask questions if you want. So we have a Q&A. We're going to be sharing resources later. So Paul gave us some resources, and I'll be sharing those. But if you got any questions along, go ahead and use that Q&A, and we'll see what we can do. So without further ado, let's get going. So why did you guys write this series of articles? Because you got 3 articles talking about Google Search Mastery. So what's going on with that?
I just thought it was a good thing to write about, because a lot of times when I talk to people, they have a hard time finding things on the internet, and so we thought that doing first it started off as just let's do a fact sheet on how to do a Google search, and then we thought actually we should probably do like a journal article and then make like a few fact sheets to accompany them. And so we just started writing and thought, oh, this is going to be too long for just one. And so then we kind of broke it up into the basics of search. Then we did one on the operators, search operators, and then some techniques to kind of tie it all in together.
Okay, and is it going to stay as a 3-part article, or you?
As of right now, that's what we have done. We had talked about doing like a series on, Google Search is just one tool that Google offers. So we thought about doing another article or 2 on, like, say, Google Voice or Google Drive. But definitely I want to do one on Google Scholar soon, because just searching in Scholar takes a little. You just kind of tweak your search queries a little bit to function in Google Scholar, which I spend a lot of time in. So,
Stacey, were you seeing certain behaviors in Utah State University Extension that made you think, gee, our people need to know how to search better, or they're doing a lot of searching for people?
Well, one of the things that we talk about a lot in Extension is we need to go where the people are, and as Paul often reminds us, the people are online. And so we need to be online, and we need to be good at finding things online. One of the kind of humorous things that I find is sometimes our faculty members can't find their own publications or their own fact sheets or things online, and so we just give them little tips on how to do that, and they're like, hey, there it is, but they need the same search skills to be able to help their clientele as well. So if their clients want to be online, then we need to be able to give them the tools to be able to find the information they need, and we want them to have research-based information. So we want them to have extension resources, and not just whatever it is that comes up on the internet.
Stacey, that the thing that you mentioned just at the beginning is, we need to get our stuff online, and I am 100% behind you on there. That we need to do a better job. Right now, reading a book, How Google Works, how they put that company together, and they talk about this item, scarcity, that lots of businesses were put together based on information scarcity. And I honestly believe extension was there, that we were the local experts and that our information was scarce, so they had to come to us. But now, because everything's digitized and our content's out there, folks are able to do this, and these folks at Google say we just need to do it better. And so part of this is, we've got the research information, but we got to get it out there, and we got to help people find it, which I think is key to what you guys are presenting.
What do you guys think some of the main takeaways are? I mean, you have the 3 articles kind of broken down into the operators. Were there key Google operators, search operators that you think people should be using? You give a pretty comprehensive list, but what are some of the key ones that you think people should be using that they might not be?
As far as search operators, I think that at least the ones that I use the most are let's see here. I actually pulled them all up. I kind of went through and looked at my search history just to kind of see, like, okay, which operators do I use the most? But I would say just like the quotes. The other day I was with some friends of mine, and we were quoting some parts to the movie Nacho Libre, and so we were kind of got into an argument over what exactly Nacho was saying to Escalito, and so we actually used quotes to find exactly, like, the phrase and everything that he was saying, and so that way we could quote him better. But then we also used the technique of using the cite colons to limit. I think we use like the IMDb or something like that, the movie database website to query, just to kind of clean up the search a little bit more. So at least for me, I use quotes a lot. Often using like the asterisks just to a lot of times it's kind of treated as a placeholder. So I use that. Of course, like the ands and ors are pretty common in my searches. So
Paul, if you got a second, can you share your screen?
Yeah.
And go ahead and do a search, just starting with one element, maybe adding additional elements, what you're talking about, and showing how that changes the search.
Sure. Okay, so let's see here. I was looking for the other day. I was actually looking up. Here we go. You guys got my screen okay?
We see your screen. Well, we did.
Let's see here.
All right, we got it. We got it.
Okay. Okay, so the other day I was looking for some mountain bike supplies, and I wanted to find some, a local place that sold some really good tubes. I was going mountain biking tomorrow, and all my tubes were I guess they all had holes in them. So what I did was I just searched best, or let's see, most times people just type in mount, spell it wrong, bike tubes, and so as you can see here, Google, it corrects it for you, so we got the correct spelling, and then you've got like, you've got like the shopping results. You can filter by shopping, and you can see like, I can search anywhere online, and they've got pricing there for me. But what I really needed was I needed somewhere local that I could go, because I'm all about shopping online if it makes my life easier. But in this case, I had to leave the next day. So what I did was I just did I just typed in my zip code, and let's see here. Let's see. The second result there is Red Rock Bicycle. And what that did was that's a local shop that's in another city. So, but what I really wanted to find was before I called Red Rock, I wanted to find what the best mountain bike tubes were. And so I just use all these keywords. And so instead of searching what are the best mountain, Google doesn't really look at all these other words that, in the question mark. It doesn't really take that into consideration. So the best thing to do is use keywords. I like using the word best because then that usually refers me to a website that has probably done some reviews, and let's see here. So if I just do best mountain bike tubes, we've got let's see, what to look for in bike tubes is a forum, which I usually go to forums quite a bit to look at what other people are saying who are using products, and there's some really good reviews on Amazon. And so I ended up, I think this is the Single Tracks. I think I ended up going here. Singletracks.com has a lot of good reviews, and so they let's see here. They said that Maxxis had the best mountain bike tubes. So I ended up going back to looking for a local mountain bike shop. So I just did Utah and then 84770, and what comes up now is a list of bike shops all in the area. You've got a Google map, so you can see, okay, what's nearby. And I ended up going to Red Rock, and then I ended up calling Bicycles Unlimited because I was looking for that particular brand. Red Rock ended up having it, so I got it there. So is that interesting enough?
Yeah, well, yeah, but now, so that's a good place to get us there. Stacey, how about, from your perspective, some of these, additional, if you're guiding somebody through research on a topic, and maybe you've done this recently, where you're starting to use some of these other, the quotes or the site or date elements, being able to kind of control the search there.
I'm over a really big writing project called Discover 4-H Clubs, and I have about 30 authors that are working on different 4-H project areas writing for me. And so one of the things that we want to know is what other state extension has on our topics, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We just want to put it in a package so that it's easier to use. And so how I help guide people through that search process is we want to know what other extensions are doing. So instead of just doing usu.edu, we just do the site and then .edu, so that we can find out what Texas has, what Iowa has, on any of these topics, so that we can ask permission to use their stuff or to include that in our publications.
Very cool.
That's been very helpful, because then we've found that people are already applying the essential elements in Texas, and so if they've already done the work, then we would like to just use it and give them credit. So
absolutely. Can you share your screen and kind of give a quick example on what you've done there?
Well, I would love to, but I actually don't have video or sound on my computer, so I'm using my little iPad, and so so if I'm on my screen, you won't be able to see it.
Oh, very good. All right, very cool. All right. So, all right. Well, absolutely. Hey, well, this is a great time to kind of take a break, and then, we'll get Bob to line up the next set of questions here. No pressure, Bob. All right. So, Ask an Expert. Ask an Expert is a service provided by eextension.org, where you can get one-to-one expert answers from cooperative extension educators and volunteers from across the United States. So far, approximately 200,000 questions have been asked since 2008 on topics ranging from food preservation to pruning and 4-H to social media. Do you have a burning question? Go to ask.extension.org to get your expert answer. All right, we're back.
You guys, in the conclusion to your Google Search Mastery techniques, you talk a little bit about the role of cooperative extension in digital literacy, and maybe even from the point of view of this search. Can you talk a little bit about that, Paul, about do you think extension has a role for doing something like teaching Google search techniques to the public?
Yes, I was kind of excited to do this because I kind of looked at it as a new way to teach. I've actually started teaching this with some of my 4-H leaders, mainly because like in Utah we have a really like an educated population here, and so kind of. Back in the day, we were all about, extension was about educating the common man, and a lot of people that, didn't have access to the university. Well, now with online education, and so many people in Utah with a young population with advanced degrees, it's really kind of not say it's hard to teach them things, but they know how to access information much of the time. They know how to make informed decisions, and so this was just a way that looking at how extension can be relevant in their lives, how we could help a young educated population use technology to make better decisions in their life based on more research-based information, or really just to get good at finding what they need, because every single person, Google returns billions and billions of search results each day, and so I just want people who are already using the Google search to be able to find that information that they're looking for quicker, but also something, not spend a whole lot of time just trying to find that that one thing that they already know kind of what it is or what they're looking for, just really how to pinpoint that information that they need, and then also to give them some techniques to really look and see, oh yeah, if I search, if I filter my search by a .edu site, it's more effective than just seeing what shows up on a blog somewhere, and if they're looking for a particular file or an image or something like that, that they'll be able to find that faster and then be able to use it quicker for their needs. So it's really just a way to meet the demand that I think that exists, that we just haven't really tapped into yet.
So kind of adding to that, Stacey, how is writing this 3-part series and looking at Google Google search and Google Mastery, how has that, because it's in your head now when you're working with other extension educators and specialists, how is that kind of influencing your discussion or helping them find information?
Well, one of the things that people often ask me is literature review techniques, and one of the things that they need to be able to master is to find out which articles have already been written on their topic, so that they can review them effectively and then move their research forward. And this has really helped in the literature review section, because oftentimes they'll say, well, I didn't find anything on my topic, and I was like, oh, well, let's employ some of these search skills, and then lo and behold, we always find something. So it really helps to make it so that we're not making claims or we're not going into territory that somebody else has already covered, so that we can have truly unique research, or we can be adding something to the body of knowledge. And I think once they start using those skills and they see how easy it is, and they're like, oh, I need to look at these, I need to look at your fact sheets, I need to look at, because they're just like, are these written down? And so we often refer them to the fact sheets, just so that it's in a list form. And I think it really helps them to know that they can have more confidence finding the information that they really need to write their journal articles.
Where do you guys think this is going? I think when I talk about some search techniques, and sort of it harkens back to how we currently do search, or how we have done search in the past, but there's so many new ways to search coming out, especially contextually. Even when Paul, I don't know why I wanted to call you Sean for some reason, but when Paul was sharing his screen, we noticed that he was getting personalized Google search results because he's logged into Google and not actually looking at the open, worldwide search results. So as that becomes more contextualized, as you're searching on your phone and things like that, what are the roles of these kinds of operators going to be, or will they have any role at all?
Oh, that's a great question, because now you can do a Google image search just by simply dragging an image into Google, and then getting and then finding exactly where that image was first uploaded, or where all the places it's been used. And so and then you've got, with Google Glass, you'll pretty soon be able to, and Google Goggles, you'll be able to take an image, with your Google Glass, and then and then it'll tell you, where you're at, and start giving you directions. So I think things are moving more towards like sensory-based, as we enable location services and everything, things are gonna, and we, have more and more, things that are wearable, wearable technology. I think it's going to move towards, a lot of things just kind of popping up based on our senses and what we are, what we gravitate towards, whether it's our physical location or what we're thinking. And so I think as of right now, I think they're useful, but we just need to stay up on where technology is going, and then looking for ways that we can kind of stay ahead of the curve and utilize the incoming technology. And so I just started playing around with Google Glass lately, and it's been really, really fun. But it's something new, and it's something I'm not very good at yet. And so it's just, and that kind of goes back to the same thing with search. It's in a lot of cases it's new for people. They may already be searching, but using the ellipses and using quotations and periods and different other symbols and things in a different way, it's going to totally change how we talked about it in the article. They're searching their quality of life online. That was it. So we want to improve their quality of life online, and so utilizing these things, and then whatever comes down the road in the future is what's gonna, as we're online more and more, whether it's in our pocket or right in front of our faces, as we walk around, we want people to be able to use it, to the best of their ability. And so that's kind of my vision for Google search, but it also lead into more and more things.
Yeah, I mean, right now Google's going down this whole contextual path, with Google Now. As I was traveling through Columbus, hanging out with Paul, going to some of these other places, the information would change based on that. And now with Google's new inbox, it's all contextual. It's based on the time and location and what your email. I mean, it's sifting through all this information right now, which I think is pretty exciting. Hey, here's something from Victor. He talks about, or asks the question, how about talking about search bias based on previous search history and location? So, Stacey, want to give a first crack at that?
Well, if I understand his question correctly, I think if it saves your search history and it wants to take you back to the same place that you've already been searching, I think using the search operators and modifiers and things like that, you can still get to the information that you're looking for. So I don't know if he wants to if he's asking if you don't want to get the same information you've always been getting, and just because of your search history. But also, just if you use multiple locations, or if you turn off the location services or things like that, I think that might change your search results. But we can still certainly get to the information that you're looking for, no matter what your search history has.
Yeah, and to go along with that, a lot of times I'll log out of my Google account and then and just search that way, just because it's so customized to what they think I want, which most of the time they're usually right. So sometimes I'll do the same search and I'll be like, that was really good. It was very easy. And then I'll do I'll log out and do the same search just to kind of see what the results look like. And it's pretty interesting, the stark difference you'll see. And I encourage those listening to try that out, to log in, do a search, log out, do the same search, and see what happens, because I mean, we can all Google the same thing right now, and we're all going to get different results based on, where we're at, and what our interests are, and who our friends are on Google, who we're connected to in our Google circles, and so it's pretty cool. And also, like, those of us in extension, like, I think we all need to get set up with our Google Author accounts, because showing that, I did a search just recently a few weeks ago, and the first thing that showed up, number one, it had Anne Adrian, and a picture. She was set up as a Google author, had her Google Plus image, and then an article that she had actually +1, and so that came up in the top of my search results because she had actually +1 it, and a connection of mine essentially is recommending that article to me. It was about social media, and I was like, whoa, it kind of blew me away. And so, and that's just how with the new Hummingbird update, and then and then more updates that always creep up on us. It's pretty cool to see how search changes and how customized it gets. Because personally, I like to see people who I'm connected to if they've ever +1 something or like something. So if I see Stan, some articles that you've archived or read that you recommend, I mean, I'm gonna look at those first, before I look at the other ones, because I know that there's a personal recommendation from someone that I trust.
Yeah, I think Victor's point is really an important one, and I think it's why your guys' work on this is important, and it's important for all of us to know how to do a good Google search, because I think as those things become more prevalent, as the social aspect, the contextual aspect, the even just suggested searches, I'll start typing a search sometimes, and I end up searching for something completely different because a suggested search comes up, and I'm like, oh, that sounds more interesting than what I was searching in the first place. So, so really being able to sort of get yourself outside of that. It's really convenient. I agree with Paul. I love it. It delivers a lot of information to me in ways that maybe I never would have thought of. But when when we have that need as individuals to kind of get outside of that control, having the search mastery that you guys talk about is really important to get to the information you want to get to.
Yeah, and also understanding that, like you said, you log out. Well, Google Chrome offers an incognito search, which allows you to basically search, without logging in, which, is really huge if you want to get kind of a sterile look, at your search. So.
Yeah.
So. Well, very cool. Hey, time for another break, guys. Sorry. Hold on. We'll be back. Hey, learn.extension.org is your free access to cutting-edge learning events. These professional development sessions are brought to you by eXtension and are open to anyone. Popular topics include finance, energy, social media for business, and many others. Many of the sessions are recorded for your viewing convenience. Looking to learn something new? Check out a session at learn.extension.org. And we lost Stacey. Yeah, we know she had to run. So, what a pity. We were just closing up. So
she just texted me and said thanks. It was great. So.
Very cool. So yeah, this I will definitely add this 3-part series to our show notes, talking about different ways that you can affect your search. I think it's important stuff, and that's why we wanted you on, and we appreciate you coming on. So,
thanks.
So what's up next for you, Paul? What do you have on the docket that you're working on, exciting or new?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. I've been working on the eXtension Educational Technologies Learning Network with Jamie Sager and Gerald Thomas and Barbara Chamberlain and Stan and you. And so I'm just really excited. We got the website up. We're just looking at different ways we can start getting people engaged. On November 20th, we've got a Twitter chat at let's see, I think it was 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so the hashtag is hashtag EdTechLN, so EdTechLN. And so we'll be on Twitter for about an hour, just trying to figure out what the needs are which a lot of times we think we know, but I'm always thrown for a curveball when people start when we start engaging with more and more people and realize what people are using now and where they need help. And so we're just trying to connect extension professionals who are using technology, even those who aren't, and sharing what technologies work. What they use to make their jobs and their lives easier, and then how to adapt that for different programs. And so I'm excited about that, and Google search will be a huge part of that, and looking for resources and recommending resources and connecting people with with the information that they need to kind of fill that gap and help them along their journey as they learn all these new technologies that just keep popping up every single day. So.
Very cool. And Bob, what do you got going on? What new and exciting stuff?
Well, I'm on here every week, so it's hard to come up with something new every single week. But I do have two things I want to tell you about. Victor Villegas, who asked our question today, Victor's going to be presenting a webinar tomorrow. It is actually called Using Hootsuite to Manage Twitter, and it's going to be offered twice. I believe those times are 11 a.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Pacific. But where you can find out more is at learn.extension.org. And then the Network Literacy Community of Practice is also co-sponsoring a webinar on Wednesday. Alice Henneman from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln is going to be talking about how to use images in social media activities to increase engagement and outreach. So I'm excited about both those webinars. Again, if you want to find out more about them, learn.extension.org.
Right on. And for me, probably the big news that's kind of moving around is I picked up a new job. I will be the Director for Technology Enhanced Instruction at Jamestown Community College. Excited about doing that, and which will kind of affect the show a little bit. So we'll have to figure out how that's all going to work. I worked it in my head how this can all work. I'll be donating my lunch hours on Monday and Wednesday, I think. We'll have to work that out. But still, where I can help Extension, I've grown fond of this organization, and I will constantly be talking out loud and learning out loud and sharing out loud. So keep on going. So
congratulations, Stan. On
congrats, Stan.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. Okay, so guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to close it up and just stay online, and we'll chat in a sec. So this is another issue of What's Up, Joe, with Stan Scrabb and Bob Birch. Thank Paul Hill and Stacey MacArthur for joining us today. Real cool topic. And we'll see you at the next session. Bye for now.